All right, hello, hello. We are back on Seventh Layer tonight. I think we might finish it. I can't tell. Like, I know that this is a shorter game, but we're only on part four, so it feels really short. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm trying to like galaxy brain, and we haven't even started, so that's always a good sign. Um, Hi, if I've not met you yet, I'm Kels. Obviously, you're seeing me. I'm your player one, and I need to figure out how to do that intro better when I'm not streaming with other people. Uh, I will also apologize. I'm not quite like 100% tonight. We've had the Warped Tour locally, and so there's been a lot of loud music at night. And if you've been around for very long, you know I have insomnia. It's not helped it. So I am a sleepy bitch tonight. We'll see how well I read. Thank you. Let's just recap and get into it because it's been ages. Feels like it's been ages. Um, All right, so what happened last time? We took responsibility for making the site being Ryom Heaven, by taking the lead going into the Demon King lair and immediately collapsed at the start of the boss fight, but the dagger exorcised him out of Maria with us. She developed Farmy Farm and is playing the fan service role we made. Upon coming back to the village, we got a game clear and glitchy credits, then the game restarted with Mel turning out to be an NPC that needs Nelly to control him. She just made him up and then played him on the internet. Everyone was sympathetic to Nellie's loneliness and wondered how New Game Plus will improve our chances of escape. We popped up in Fairy House and explained what our artistic intent was with the design of the game, wanting to challenge people. Let's see, sorry. It went dark, and I know that goes like very dark on this screen. And contrasted it with how Maria's game is popular but feels soulless. The fairy appeared to Jacopo and exposed his suicidal depression, leading to Maria questioning his NVC credentials. Maria called out all of Jacopo's flaws. It was glorious to watch. And how he took his insecurities out on us, so he apologized and admitted Fairy House was the closest thing he had to therapy. Everyone in this so called negative faction has dysfunction that Maria figures is the reason we came to Seventh Lair. Then she questioned the name, and we explained that it refers to Dante's seventh circle of hell for violent people. The only inconsistency we can think of with replicating Fairy House is the lack of theme song. We sang the theme song to draw out the creator, and Maria, recognizing the unreleased version of the song, proves she is Emion. We blew up at Maria for lying to us our whole friendship, but then Maria revealed that he wasn't lying because he's transgender, and that he made Farmy Farm for one specific girl he was crushing on. Then the fairy turned into Morgana and revealed Seventh Lair is the forest for the suicidal. Morgana said we are all on the edge of suicide, and she is an angel of God who based this illusion world off of our game to save all of us from the suicidal thoughts that were being imposed by a malevolent force, which is us, because we coded our own self hatred that deeply into the game. Amion tried to stop Morgana from revealing that she took our memory of Giselle dying, which led to us having already killed ourselves and inspired countless more suicides. She restored our memory of making a new game for Giselle, only to learn she was terminally ill and eventually died in the hospital after we recorded her for a song. The song itself was poorly received despite how much of Giselle we put into it, and her death made us shut down from game creation and life. We released Seventh Layer as a suicide documentary. Emion begged Morgana to spare us and revealed Giselle was her crush, and we were the only one Emion was comfortable losing Giselle to. We then said our goodbyes to the other three as they walked through the door. So they're gone, and like shit, everything went bad last time. I remembered it went bad because I will say it is rare to make me cry during a game, and I do remember crying last stream for this one. But damn, everything did go really bad. Quick, of course, trigger warnings. Obviously, we are talking about suicidal ideation and all of that. Please keep yourself safe. Please always feel free to peace out anytime you need to. Far more important that you stay safe than to sit here and watch this. All right. So, with that all taken care of, let's see where this goes. Let's see where she's taking us. So, they're gone. Yes. All that remains now is to guide you to Seventh Lair. Oh, Fairy, can I ask another question?
I am not a fairy, but yes. What is it?
Why did you take my memories? There should be some rules that you have to follow. Whatever the matter may be, for what purpose is essential, you said. I don't think you would have taken my memories without a reason.
Indeed. As decreed, those who commit suicide can never be forgiven and must remain in hell for all eternity. However, much has passed, and compared to before, those who have fallen into the forest of the suicidal have increased. We thought to expand our perspective on the issue slightly, to consider whether all must continue to bear their sin or not. Your soul, at some point, may be able to be freed from hell.
Hell, really? That feels like a weird out, but you know what? I'll take it.
For those who were able to save others, we have begun to reconsider their circumstances.
So basically, God's gotten way more lenient in the last like 5 minutes, which, you know what? If it's gonna save our soul and we can maybe reunite with Giselle, like, I would far rather do that. So, the reason you took my memories.
It was to see your spirit in its original, purest form, and to determine in what way you interact with others.
Not well. So, that's why. Not only them, but for me. You gave me a chance to be saved.
Well, such is my duty.
I suppose I should say thank you.
It is not necessary. You are still going to hell, as I have already said.
Yeah, I got that. But let me ask another question. Every once in a while, there were some odd comments on the Ryom Heaven forums. Almost like spam. Was that you?
Yes, I interfered electronically and attempted to convince those who desired death. However, your electronic medium is rather difficult for me.
How crazy would reality be if all the spam messages and shit that you get on social media is just an angel trying to fuck up your plans? Yeah, that's fair. We are a much worse person than we were in Fata Morgana. I will say we did less suffering, which I know, like, the correlation of, like, more suffering and being a better person generally don't kind of cross over. But, yeah, we've not done great. We did save people, so I feel like there's some tallies on our side, maybe. I don't think there's a lot of tallies on our side. But we're not fighting the Witch of Fata Morgana this time. We're fighting God, which actually, now that I've said it out loud, seems worse. I don't know. We'll find out. Convince us.
Something the matter?
No, it's just kind of scary thinking about it now. And one more thing.
You draw this out.
But very well, speak. Yeah, we are like the kid that doesn't want to go to bed. Like, one more thing. I need a glass of water, and I don't want to go to hell. And can you tell me a story? Yeah, exactly. We're not fighting Morgana. We're fighting her dad now. What did you think of Fairy House's song?
I do not harbor the same emotions as people. I cannot speak for its emotional qualities. But yes, indeed. I think the song is able to leave something with the listener.
I see. Thank you. That's enough for me. Now, onward to Seventh Lair.
She bowed her head deeply and held out her hand. Knowing she was indicating for me to take it, I reached out.
All right, time to go to hell. Party in hell? It seems like a solo party, so, you know, maybe not much of a party, but Michael also doesn't seem great at parties, if I'm being honest, so.
And then my world then crumbled. I heard rumbling sounds. The floor collapsed and the walls came crashing down. Without a doubt, I was falling. Falling into darkness with no bottom in sight. Just falling, falling, falling. But in the next moment, a white light scorched my eyes, and behind it, I could make out a girl with long hair. Her body seemed draped in silk like an angel. I couldn't make out the details of her face or body. All I knew was that something utterly pure was before me. Is this the white-haired girl? She grazed my cheek with her finger and gave me a gentle kiss on the lips.
Giselle? You know what? We'll take a kiss from anyone. Maybe Michael won't, but I will, so.
It all felt so familiar, like something I loved dearly. My motivation, my everything. But after a brief moment together, she went up and I down. And as if both heaven and earth tore her away, she disappeared.
There we go, plot twist, it's Amy. If we look, I would rather see our brothers again than ever have to hear Amy's name ever again. Oh, what? I'm trying to figure out. What? Did not realize maybe we were that close to the end. This doesn't feel like the end. Let's keep. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can skip this. So I'm trying to remember whether this had. I mean, we've got actual staff. Never mind. I was like, well, maybe the cast list being the cast itself, you know, like the character names, like maybe that's something, but maybe it doesn't have voice acting on it. Or maybe I didn't look at it. Again, I'm tired. I will give them this, like the music in this game is fantastic. I don't remember, like I remember a couple of really good bangers in House and Fata Morgana, but this one has been fantastic. So okay, only Reincarnation had voice acting. I can't remember because I always take it off, right? Because they're never in English, so we could have it done, but then I have to wait for everyone to finish reading, and that seems like a pain. Um, so I couldn't remember whether I had to turn it off or not. But I want to get Michael out of hell. There's got to be an option, right? Don't leave me like this. Aha, here we go.
I'll talk a little bit about what happened after. Firstly, we all awoke from Seventh Lair, and before too long, met up again. The place? Paris, France. Of course, it was to attend a certain individual's funeral. The funeral of the owner of Ryome Heaven. To us, he was known by his screen name, Dark Knight, which, yeah, is a little corny. But he was an honest and pure man, and that's what led him to death. His real name was Michael. I had known Giselle for a long time, so I was able to determine where he lived, and was also successful in contacting his family. Okay, so this must be Emion's point of view. After I heard the day of the funeral, I contacted Pinky Rose and JB, since we were now connected online. Their real names were Jacopo Berzati and Nellie Rhodes. Jacopo resided in Italy and Nellie in England. It was quite the distance, and I thought it would be hard for them to make it, but they managed to arrange to come on the day.
I need everyone to remember that was their only friend. So, yeah, they made it work.
And at long last, we met in the real world. For our first offline funeral to be
For our first offline meetup to be a funeral, sheesh.
Jacopo bitched as usual, but I could see his eyes were slightly puffy, so he likely cried either on the plane or train coming to France. Nellie, unlike her spunky self we saw in Seventh Lair, seemed like a scared little creature. We already knew one another, and I tried to tell her she didn't need to be scared, but it's scary with all these people here. It's been so long since I went outside, was how she replied. I'm surprised your parents gave you permission. A girl like you traveling all alone? I thought it out loud. I told them everything. Um, I knew they wouldn't believe me about seventh layer, so not that part. I just told them how I had a really good friend online and that he really helped me, but that now he's passed away. I told them honestly, and my mom understood. She even gave me the travel money.
She didn't come with you? Like, don't get me wrong, I was also flying around on my own at a young age, but I also wasn't flying alone to go to some random man's funeral that I'd never met in real life. So, her mom needs to figure out stranger danger real quick.
She answered, looking shyly down at the ground. We stood before a small graveyard, or rather, looked at it from a distance. While the coffin was being lowered into the ground, there were relatives surrounding it. It wasn't an easy situation where a group of three like us, all different ages and nationalities, could just slide in and say we were friends. Maybe seventh layer was all a dream? That was the first thing I hoped for when I woke up. But that was an empty hope. He was dead, sure enough, in front of his computer with a knife in his wrist. They said he was found in a pool of blood. It must have been a ton of blood. Must have hurt, too. What the hell did he do to himself? That stupid jackass? All I could think of was, what if he had given me his phone number? Or if, when our text chat suddenly stopped, I found out where he lived. Maybe all of this wouldn't have happened. I could have stopped him. I couldn't stop thinking about it. My problem was, to him of all people, I didn't want to expose my true self. That's why I never tried to speak face to face. But if I had overcome those issues and taken those steps, he may be alive today. Ugh, damn it! What's done can never be undone, but the regrets kept surfacing over and over. When I let my mind wander, I fell into an endless loop of what-ifs. No matter how final our goodbyes in Fairy House, there was too much inside me left in limbo. There were others that had died. It wasn't only Michael. The Dutch decapitator. As for him, when I searched for the Dutch decapitator online, a whole slew of information came up. Privacy on the internet, am I right? He was famous on some underground sites, so once a serial killer like him went down, I guess it was only natural there would be this much info. He was found dead in an Amsterdam apartment with a woman. Well, more accurately, the woman had died from severe lacerations to the neck, and the man, the Dutch decapitator, had died of heart failure. Of course, we all knew his cause of death. But I mean, he died when he became a sacrifice to fight the demon lord. Who the hell would believe that? Alternatively, his soul was taken by a retainer of God. Both of those were infeasible as explanations in reality. I didn't want to seem like I was crazy in some fantasy world, so I didn't talk about it. Oh, right, so 7th layer is gone from the forum log. You can't download it anymore. I wonder if you two noticed? Nellie and I both nodded to Jacopa's question. 7th layer was gone. Without a trace at that. There was no trace it was ever downloaded either. Its disappearance was so clean, it was hard to believe it ever existed in the first place. All that was left was that odd text on the forum. I wanted to believe that it was all just a terrible dream. But the coffin I occasionally looked up to see immediately told me it was real. An illusory reality. It sounded like an oxymoron, but that's all I could call it. Just thinking about it boggles the mind. Exactly, Lost Media. Someone is going to make a YouTube video 5 years from now talking about how there was this game that only like 5 people played. It's fine. I sighed heavily, but then I gave an intentionally cynical smile. But what disappeared wasn't just 7th layer.
And what does that mean?
The masterpiece that he also made disappeared completely. The video he recorded his suicide in was also never found on his computer. I guess the fairy did her work. Nellie, who had been looking down this whole time, finally lifted her head and looked directly at us. The resolve in her eyes didn't match the timid girl we first met. It's something that couldn't be left. It's something that Michael really regretted. It would have pained him to see it still there. In the same way you couldn't delete something you released to the world, you couldn't take back something that you had done. So, under normal circumstances, what Michael did would have been denounced by everyone. But that not being the case was likely a small salvation for Michael, who had descended into hell. I didn't want to think that hardliner fairy could have such mercy, but that was probably the case. After the ceremony, the attendees heard the final prayer and dispersed. Seeing some of them cry made me happy that there were those who still loved him. I then bit my lip, swearing to myself I wasn't going to give him the honor of crying for him. After the attendees had all left, we stood before his grave. We then offered him 3 lilies. So, what are you two gonna do now? What do you mean? Should we go get a cup of tea somewhere? No, not like that. I meant it in the broader sense, in the coming days. I laughed subtly at Jacopo's question. I looked over to Nellie and had her answer first. Uh, I'm, um, I'm changing schools, and I want to get a totally fresh start. I might not be able to make any friends my age, but when I start, I can turn into you two. I can turn to you two, right? Not into, it's fine. So I won't be afraid when I go. Jacopo's face then softened into a kind and understanding smile. Sheesh, so this guy was capable of making a face like that this whole time? But what about you, JB? Nellie, still using Jacopo's screen name, looked up at him. Jacopo slightly averted his eyes before mumbling an answer. I don't care what it is, but I'll look for a job somewhere. That has to come first. Don't lose hope along the way. The only thing you need to lose is that attitude. Well, thanks for that. And then the two of them looked over at me. There we go, Jacopo and Amy on toxic trans yaoi. It's fine. So, my plans, huh? Obviously, I had an answer. But first, I thought I'd jest a little. I think I'll try and aim to be the next Dante. Huh? What are you on about? Well, think of it like this. The fairy, she said all that stuff about Dante and whatever. We were lucky enough to experience that world, so maybe I'll spread the word like he did. Think anyone would believe it in this day and age? And besides, what we experienced was a game world. You'll be labeled a lunatic, and that'll be the end. You can say that again. Jacopo crossed his arms and looked at me with eyes saying he knew I wasn't being serious. Nellie had her own big bright eyes focused on me too. Okay, I'm going to complain for just a second. Usually I will not complain about translation problems, but I have seen everyone's name so far misspelled in like 3 different ways. Like, this isn't a negotiable. I don't understand these translators. But probably overworked, underpaid. Okay, come on, dude, you can go. Anyways, if you look at me that cutely, I might have to eat you up, I mumbled to myself internally. I smirked, and then told them what I was really thinking. I'm gonna make a game, because that's the only thing I can do. And I'm gonna quit NBC Corporation, too. Well, that's a massive company with a stable future. Don't you think that's a waste? The future and me don't exactly get along well. I laughed out loud, and Jacopo gave me a slightly disapproving glare. What kind of game are you going to make? Something about your body? Nellie asked timidly. At her age, she surely had never come across someone like me before. It seemed like she was confused about how to ask about it. No, if I created something about that so literally, it won't be received. It won't be well received. To do this right, you have to think of imagery and characters that everyone can latch onto, and then you slip in your own messages in between. But yeah. The spring wind blew by as if stripping us of our emotional pain. Or maybe it was pushing us to pursue our dreams. I want to try and make it. I'll cast it into the wind and see whether it'll sell or not. Naturally, the title will be Seventh Lair. Oh,
Oh, we have extras. We're not done yet. Okay, I think is concert hall. Okay, concert hall is just the songs. So let's go to short story. Apparently, there's only one short story. Makes it easy.
No name application. My birthday's on May 5th, said Giselle with a smile, a week before the day. Hmm, was that it? I think you can give me a little better reaction than that.
I mean, it's just a birthday, right?
Well, I know that. I was trying to come off like I didn't care, but my heart actually started racing when she said the word birthday. My finger, which had been sliding around my smartphone screen, froze in place, but I don't think she noticed. I was confident in my poker face. So long as I wasn't plugged into a lie detector, I was fine. I'm planning on having a party at home. Will you come too? Mm, yeah, sure, I'll go. I had no reason to refuse, and if I could see her all dressed up, then I was more than happy for the chance. But jumping out of my seat would have been corny, so I played it off like I could go either way. Although, I knew that trying to act cool and aloof wasn't going to score me any points. I'd like 100 roses as a birthday present.
You trying to bankrupt a broke college student?
I'm joking,
Giselle laughed.
I could already see myself turning into the kind of guy that would actually buy 100 roses.
Like, maybe as a surprise for next year's party? Huh, interesting. So in Fata Morgana, Giselle's birthday's May 3rd. Wonder why they changed it. It's kind of a weird thing to change. I don't know. Maybe it's just a typo.
But I didn't really want to be that kind of guy. Anyone could buy roses as long as they had the cash. Just you coming will make me happy, but dress up for the occasion. I laughed as I cringed. I couldn't wait to see her in a dress, but thinking of me all dapper almost made me puke. So even if I had to let her down,
I was going in jeans. Really?
sorry, but that's the kind of guy I was.
Oh! Oh! We're not Michael!
Hey, Emyon? I was in my third year of college at the time. Giselle was approaching her 17th birthday and still in high school. We were some years apart, but good friends.
Exactly, apple bottom jeans. Boots with the fur.
We had actually met at a party at a mutual friend's house. Back then, Giselle was still in junior high and was full of youthful naivety. I didn't think much of her at first, only that she was a cute kid, nothing more. I didn't see her as a potential partner or anything like that. She was there with her parents, no less, so that maybe made her look even more like a child. And since she was about to enter high school, her parents told me to teach her all I can since she was nervous. I can still see Giselle huddling into a ball of embarrassment next to them. I was pretty sure I knew how she felt, though. In high, and moreover at the end of it, you were starting to figure out things and have an identity, so it was embarrassing to have your parents do things on your behalf. If it was me, I wouldn't have been caught dead out with my parents like that. So from then on, she was the neighborhood girl I knew. But slowly we shortened the distance between us, and we were now close friends. The name she called me, Emyon, wasn't my real name. It was a screen name I used online, that is, a nickname, and one I wanted her to use for me when it was just the two of us. Had we originally met online, going by our screen names would have felt only natural, but that wasn't the case for Giselle. It didn't sit right with her, I think. Like, why would I want her to call me such a different name from my real one? If she even wanted an explanation, I would have told her I don't mind her using my real name. It would have been a chore explaining the reason, and I doubt she would have understood anyway. It felt more comfortable having her call me that. And for her, yeah, it was most likely unnatural in terms of normal human interaction. It's fine. She gets a boyfriend later that doesn't know how to be a human being either. There we go. I swear I'm not a groomer. It's fine. But she went along with it more easily than I anticipated. She said she would if it was what I wanted. And she never really asked the reason. In fact, she even told me it was a nice name. In that moment, my perception of her went from cute kid to cute girl. She then entered high school, grew her hair out, and before I knew it, I was taken with the beautiful woman she was becoming.
But at the same time, I was worried some worm would latch onto her and found myself assailed by jealousy when I saw any boys near her.
On the day of the party, I rang the doorbell, and the birthday girl herself came and met me. "Hey there! What's the matter? You look terrible!"
She screamed the moment she saw me. I was wondering what that was all about, but then gathered it was the dark bags under my eyes. My face probably looked like a zombie's. I didn't want her to worry about me, so I laughed it off with a joke. With you on my mind, I couldn't sleep for 3 days and nights.
Oh, don't you lie to me! I know you either saved your reports for the last minute or stayed up all night gaming. Sometimes I really can't tell if you're serious about school or not. Giselle, let me let you in on something. College students are creatures that spawn unfinished reports, and you'll eventually become one too.
Giselle's eyes went wide at first, but then she raised an eyebrow into a suggestive smile.
I may not look it, but I'm the most studious girl around. I won't turn out as Miss Know-It-All claims.
It would be impossible not to see you as studious. Give me a break. I swallowed those words and shrugged jokingly at her. Yeah, Giselle has always struck me as straight A student, does extra credit. The teacher relies on her to run errands. So
We both chuckled.
it certainly wasn't an unpleasant moment for two good friends.
She motioned me inside and led me through the living room. Oh, but first. Oh, right, can I borrow your phone? Yeah, sure, but why? Did you forget yours? I only smiled in response.
She seemed tensely alert now, but given that it was only me, she handed me the phone.
Don't go sniffing around in it too much.
I knew you had a bunch of messages from boys here.
No, I don't, you jerk.
She went red in the face and jabbed me on the shoulder. Exactly, what a nerd. I cackled, but it was mostly out of relief. If she had smiled bashfully and there was a big picture of her new boyfriend on her home screen, I may have turned around and left on the spot.
What the hell am I thinking? It's inevitable that she'll get a boyfriend.
As a matter of fact, her not having one soon would be more perplexing. The party was full of people I didn't know, probably all of her classmates and such. The only ones who I recognized were her parents, who were nice, of course. I was starting to feel antsy being in this circle of strangers with Giselle at the center. I wasn't the type to be controlling or jealous, and I obviously wanted the girl I liked to be free to enjoy herself, but these emotions still happened. Not even an all-knowing prophet could predict just what kind of emotions humans would encounter. Of course, I was hiding the fact that I was feeling this way. I, too, had a wide variety of acquaintances. Hence, it wasn't right for me to desire that someone else be all alone. That was nothing more than childish jealousy. But was that it? Childish jealousy? The fact that I was phrasing it that way maybe meant that this was desperation more than anything. My desires couldn't be heard. I could never reach her. A world where we were together wasn't possible. I couldn't even disguise these feelings as jealousy. Not good form. Really not good. I hated dwelling, moping around with no end. This was her birthday party, for crying out loud. A time to celebrate. Right. I even prepared something special for this. Giselle, happy birthday. The one who said that wasn't me. It was a boy from her class, and he gave her a bouquet of flowers. Wow, a kid as young as high school giving flowers to a girl. So there really were chumps who thought they were hotshots at this age. Well, it's not like it was 100 roses or anything. Giselle accepted them with glee. Ugh, I felt like I witnessed an atrocity. But you know, Giselle, the gift I got you is unique. Only one in the world. Not some flowers you could get on any street corner. Such was the reason I hadn't slept, but I think the finished product came out good. I knew she would like it. I pulled her phone from my computer after the file transfer had finished and started toward her. She turned around. I returned her phone and wished her a happy birthday. In her phone, there was now an application she had never seen. There was no name for it, so I aptly labeled it No Name. I wondered when she would notice it. I wondered when she would play it. It was a game that I had made specifically for her. Thinking of her fingertips as they grazed along the screen made my heart sing. I wanted her to be the one to name it. I would be happy with whatever she chose. And she chose Farmy Farm? I'm pretty sure that was the name of it.
Side story. It was 2 weeks before her birthday. We were both lazily item farming and grinding levels in an online game. I was the tank and he was DPSing on the mage he had to respec like 3 times for. We were whispering to each other and talking about nothing in particular. So, yeah, how are things lately? I want to quit my job. Oh, that's right, he got a job recently. I knew he had gotten into game development like he dreamed of, but maybe it wasn't going so hot. I had a feeling it would be like that. Hate your job? Quit!
Clobber your boss on the way out, too.
I added some humor to his obviously dark mood, and after a few seconds, he posted a link. Wondering what it was, I opened it and saw it was an online knife shop.
Which one do you think is good?
Which do I think is good? Get out of here with that! At least keep it to a punch, you nut job. They'll come interview me after you knife up the place, and I hate the idea of doing one. Relax, man. Sorry, maybe I'll let you go.
I'm only joking. Sometimes I really couldn't tell if he was joking or...
Okay, so no more talking about work. Anything else? Like... Giselle's face appeared in my mind. Was he someone I could bring up the subject with? Honestly, I had no one to talk about it with in real life, and although I knew it didn't fit our friendship dynamic, I wanted to ask. Like a girlfriend or something? There was another lengthy pause. I noticed that his character had stopped moving too.
You backstabber.
Wait, what?
I thought you, of all people, wouldn't be swayed by females. Now your mind is in the gutter. Piss off, lover boy. He fired it off and logged out without waiting for a reply. Holy shit, Michael. That man is exhibiting incel behavior, so the fact that he still pulled Giselle is incredible.
I stared at the screen, my mouth half open. A few days later, an apology message came over Skype. He apologized for his childish behavior, and it seemed genuine, so I replied that it really didn't bother me. Apparently, one of the older guys that he hated at his company had a new girlfriend, and he was extra bitter right now. I was sure his work was hard enough as it was, and he wasn't having any luck at all, so I chalked it up to circumstance. But there was one promise I made to myself. I would never, ever bring up relationships with him again.
Until he got a girlfriend, apparently. Oh, that was it. Okay, well, we finished that, like, way early. Because I assume if I reload it... Yeah, it's still that regular save, so... I'm gonna Google really quick to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Because I don't know, I get that we got some, how do you call it? Closure, but we didn't get any closure on Michael, and I want closure. So I'm hoping. I did read your message about Carrot Cake Soul Shuffle, and I'm not gonna say that entire thing. I can't say it. Anyways, it is not on console yet, and my computer can't stream and run it at the same time. I also don't know if it's in English yet. I didn't look at that because obviously we couldn't do the tech part. I do have something lined up after this, but really quick, just making sure that we are actually done with this. Nope, it's just that ending. Well, I need them to release it in on console so we can play it. So once they do, we'll do it. Otherwise, the next thing we get from this author may be the new game that they announced. So, anyways, so as a reminder, we were playing through the Zero Escape series, so we're going to go on to the second game. I need about 5 minutes to swap over, but we will be right back. So thanks so much for hanging out. If you are bailing out here, feel free. Um, for those of you who are staying on, give me 5.